Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On this show, we love showcasing people who are trending, people who are motivating, people who are inspiring. And one of these remarkable individuals who we're seeing all over social media at the moment is none other than Bismillah Suliman. Assalamu alaikum and welcome.
Walaikum salam, Auntie Zaira. Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be in your studio.
It's such a pleasure to have you here. Bismillah, I'm seeing your name all over. We're seeing that you are one of the new up-and-coming Nasheed artists. But I want to know, before we even talk about who you are, what you're doing, and I'm sitting here with this amazing debut CD that you've launched, tell me about who Bismillah is.
Well, you know, it started a long time ago. I think back in 2006 when I first performed, you know, it was at a family wedding, a family function, you know, just social events, you know, and alhamdulillah, it led up to bigger things. So I'm really grateful, you know. I want to start off by, you know, just giving praises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, he's blessed me so much, and I really can't be, you know, grateful enough for the support that I've been receiving, you know, through my journey. So yes, as I said, 2006 it began. I performed at a small wedding. And from there, you know, people were saying, you know, why don't you take this up further? Why don't you do something with your voice, you know, try to inspire people? And ever since then, you know, it's been my motto to inspire people, rather, you know, to work for a cause rather than applause. So I've really always been motivated to do so. And alhamdulillah, you know, 2015 came, we began recording the debut album. It started there, you know, alhamdulillah, for 2 years we've been recording the album, and alhamdulillah, earlier this month we've released it, and you know, I've been so excited. The journey has been absolutely amazing. I've been enjoying everything that's been coming with it. I've learned so much, and
Alhamdulillah.
I'm just looking forward to it.
So you started when you were very, very young.
That's it.
So who has been the inspiration involved in making sure that you get up there and you have the confidence to be able to sing? Because I'm gathering from the age you were around 9 or 10 years old.
I was about 9 or 10.
There we
go. Correct. Yeah, well, you know, there have been many people who have motivated me, inspired me, you know, because I've always looked for a role model, a mentor to look up to. And, you know, I feel like young people always need that, you know, that platform to look up to someone and say, you know what, I aspire to be like that one day. So alhamdulillah, you know, I've looked up to many local artists, you know, naming Zain Bika. I've looked up to the, you know, the more modern artists such as Mahir Zain. Alhamdulillah, I've got a chance to work with Zain Bika on stage. It's been absolutely amazing. He's a gem of a person. And you know, behind his music there's so much of messages, so many things, and more importantly, you know, behind the music itself, you know, behind performing, behind enjoying yourself, you know, there's always something you can do with Nasheeds. You know, I looked up to Zain Bika because, you know, he's always partnered with charity organizations, you know, Islamic Relief, all these amazing organizations, and I looked at myself, you know, I said, I wanted to be a performer, I wanted to enjoy myself, but at the same time I want to do something that gives back to the world, gives back to the community at large. So, you know, I feel like there has been many inspirations, but for me, you know, to get to work with someone of that caliber, it's been absolutely amazing, and I just want to thank him for all that.
No, there's no doubt. I think Zain is an absolute legend in his own right, but what's remarkable is how much he gives to new Nasheed artists to help them grow as well. Which brings me to my next question. We often are very critical that we say our younger generations are very entitled, they're very self-absorbed, they're busy doing their own thing.
Of course.
You've mentioned two things that are very important for me. Number one, about being associated with giving back and being associated with causes. But before I get into that, I want to ask you, why Nasheed artists? Why go down this route? You can easily have said, I'm going to go into a singing career, I'm going to do this or that. Why has the Islamic essence been such a strong profile in your life?
You know, I feel like in today's times, especially our young people, you know, we're always looking for, we always want to be, you know, out there, you know, and I guess like it's always important to do so, but at the same time you have to remember who you are, you have to remember your roots. And you know, I feel like if a young person steps up and shows it to the world that, you know, if I, for example, step up and show it to the world that, you know what, I can do this in a way that it's still, you know, it's in line with my religion, it still complies with everything that's in the Sharia boundaries. So, you know, I feel like it's very important to do so, and I feel like there are many people out there who are still young, upcoming. You know, there are many people out there who want to go into this industry, and I feel like it's important to show them that, you know, at the same time, you don't need to, you know, you don't need to be the Justin Bieber kind of person to actually make an impact. You know, you can always do something that you know, you enjoy, and at the same time give back, as I said, give back to the community, give back to, you know, just enjoy yourself at the same time. So I feel like the Nasheed industry was very important to me because I feel like, you know, music is a universal message. You know, it can send out, you know, if we see the situations that are going across in Rohingya, in Palestine, you know, we're looking at so many different things going on. There's so much of heartbreak, so much of disaster around the world, and I feel like we need to unite people. And you know, for me, I think music is the best way to do so, because people enjoy it at the same time, and they also you learn so much from it. You can gain so much of knowledge just by listening to one song. If you give it to a young kid, listening to the song, it's a better way of showing them how to live their life. And I feel like that's very important.
Bismillah, you're a young man with wisdom far beyond your years. Because when I listen to you speak and I listen to you giving back to others and listening to you talk about the messages behind what you're putting out there, there's a lot of wisdom behind that. There's a lot of inspiration behind that. And like I said, there's a maturity that's far beyond the years. May Allah always keep you like that and take you further along the way as well.
Thank you.
Who at this point, I know you mentioned from the Nasheed point of view that Zayn has been instrumental in being this mentorship for you. But in terms of who you are as a person, who are the people that surround you? Because you talk about having friends and giving out this message, and I'm quite certain that having the right people around you always impacts on who you are as a person as well.
Most definitely.
Tell us about who are the people that inspire you.
There are so many people. If I single out one person, it would be a crime, because I feel like there are so many people supporting me, guiding me, because, especially in the music industry, Nasheed industry, if I should call it, you need a lot of support to take you to that level. And, I feel like it's important, my friends, my family, a big thanks to my parents who raised me to be this person at the end of the day, because, if you're a small person, you instill with values, you're given these values, and when you grow up, you kind of show it to the world. And I feel like a lot of that comes from my parents and especially my family. A huge thank you to them. I can't be more thankful to them. Especially my friends, they've shown me so much of love. I remember the first time I performed at a concert. They all came, and it was just so amazing to see everybody in the crowd, my family, my friends. It was just absolutely amazing, and I can't really, as I said, I can't single out a single person.
I think you're truly blessed to have that much of love and support around you, because it's very seldom that people want to see other people grow and to see them succeed. And the one thing that I said to him is that I've yet to see a brother love a brother the way his elder brother loves him, because he called and messaged and emailed, and he really promotes you in such a wonderful way. Alhamdulillah. May you always be surrounded by that.
Ameen.
Tell me a little bit about this album. This is your debut album called Guidance. I know that when we spoke about it, I heard a few of it. I was stalking your profile just to go and see what we were in
That's
for.
no problem.
The wording behind a lot of it, has that been very particularly done? Is that what took so long? Is that why it took 2 years to get this done?
Well, many artists focus on the melody, and for me, the melody is a very important part, but I feel like the message behind it, especially in Nasheeds, as we were talking, in mainstream music it may be very different, but in the Nasheed industry, the words are very important. I feel like I had to portray the good message out there. I had to put a positive, a strong message out there, something that people can, listen to every day, whether it's on the way to work or in the car, going to the gym, whatever it is, gaining some inspiration and some motivation. And alhamdulillah, the album was inspired, when I was about 8 years old, I lost somebody very close to me. So, I feel like that moment in time, I was feeling down and I needed somebody to lift me up, and I turned to Nasheeds, I turned to music, and I found that the best inspiration, the best motivation I received was through listening to these music, listening to Nasheed in particular. So I feel like I had to, I feel like there are many people, as you were saying, posting on my social media and receiving feedback. There are so many young people, more importantly, facing similar challenges, the loss of a loved one, the loss of a sibling or family, friend, or whatever it is. So I feel like it was very, this was inspired by the loss of someone very dear to me. And at the end of the day, we have to give back. And, in life, everybody wants someone to lift them higher, give them that good spirit, So, yes, this was inspired by that. And I'm just thankful for everything that has come out of it. We released it about just over a month ago. The feedback has been absolutely amazing. I've been just enjoying myself performing and just, selling the album. And, alhamdulillah, all of it is going towards a good cause, a charity cause. So we're just really thankful for everything that has been happening to you.
I think it truly resonates that when you have the right intention behind it and wanting to put the right message across, you definitely will see success in all of it. We are chatting to Bismillah Suliman about his new album called Guidance. We're going to be taking a quick ad break, but when we get back after the ad break, you have a chance to win one of 3 CDs. All you're going to have to do is call in live on air, on the studio, into the studio. You can say, greet Bismillah, but you can also, all you need to do is tell us the name of the album. Stay tuned after this ad break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And while the phones are going crazy, we are back in studio again with Bismillah Suliman, who has just launched his debut album called Guidance. I think we have a caller on the line. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Caller, can you hear us? I think while they sort out those phones, I think you're getting calls literally internationally from South America to be calling in to say to congratulate you on the album. Bismillah, when we speak about your album, about where you've come to, I listened to the maturity and the insight in terms of how you've grown over these years, how long it's taken you to do this album. But there's also so much more that comes with it. And being a 20-year-old out there, things are very different from when it was even 10 years ago, where your profiling is greatly on social media platforms.
Of course.
How have you been able to manage that with being a very public figure now, with having your private life also out there? Because like any 20-year-old, you also have your friends and you have a social life.
Of course. Yeah, well, I feel like social media plays a very big part in advertising. It plays a big part in, because, you literally post a picture and in a few seconds it can go to around wherever,
Yes.
It doesn't matter where it is. But yes, there's always down periods and stuff, because you receive these comments, or you receive,
which is, I was going to just ask you, is how do you manage being a public profile, being very young, which no doubt also comes with it, we all want acknowledgement and validation, but it is difficult sometimes when you read a lot of the negative criticism as well. And have you been getting a lot of that as well?
I must say that many people have been supportive. I must say 90% of people are so supportive, and I really appreciate that. And at the same time, those who aren't, I appreciate that, because I mean, you have to create this kind of balance in your life, and I mean, these comments, I don't really take it to head. I mean, it comes and goes, and whatever it is, it's all part of the journey. It's all part of a learning process. It teaches you who you are. It teaches you to grow. It teaches you to be, to rely on your inner strength and just show what you have. And I mean, if you're doing good work, if you're showing the world that you're capable of doing something, it's better than making a change and sitting there at home. So I feel like it's very important to showcase yourself wherever you are. If you're a young person, don't be afraid of failure, because I feel like many young people are afraid to fail. And personally, when I began this album, I had I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going to come out of it. I didn't know if it was going to be a success. Alhamdulillah, I'm not saying that it's a total success, but I must say that Alhamdulillah, we've reached such a point that I can say I've accomplished my goal. So it's about being happy, it's about inner happiness, and it's about showing yourself and showing who you truly are. And I mean, at the end of the day, people, there's always, people are entitled to their own opinion, but
absolutely,
you have to showcase who you are.
That's it, and you take what you can from it, and you leave what doesn't work for you. And I think this also shows us that when you do things truly for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how much success comes with that as well. As we mentioned, you can call into our studio. All you've got to do is tell us the name of the album. I'll let you know as well. It's called Guidance, and this is something that is going to be guiding us along our way. Tell me a little bit about where your journey takes you from here. Where do you go from? Where do you see yourself progressing?
Well, I'm always asked this question, and it comes up a lot because I feel like with the debut album, there's so much of expectations. People are always, because with music in general, people tend to get bored after a while. So, they're always waiting for new things, music videos, or a new album, or a new single, whatever it is. But, Alhamdulillah, I have to say that I'm proud of what it's come to. I'm just so thankful for everybody who, has supported me through my journey. But inshallah, I'm just taking the journey one step at a time. Alhamdulillah, I've started to work on new material. Just as soon as the album launched, we began to work on new material, a few music videos and whatever it is. But we're looking forward to greater things. I'm not going to let too many things out of the bag.
We'll have to have you back on the show to share that with our viewers as well.
Why not?
When you mentioned about giving back and giving back into different charities and that as well, I know off air you and I spoke very briefly about where funds raised from this sales of these albums are going to. Tell us about where they're going to, and also why did you make that choice?
Well, basically, as I said, I didn't want to be this performer who just performs and enjoys himself and, just gets the benefits for himself. I always wanted to give back. And, I spoke to my family members, and we spoke to a few of my friends, and, I looked for ways to give back to the world, and Alhamdulillah, I find that water is a big problem in our country. You know, many people are walking 10, 20 kilometers a day just to get a little bit of water. And, you know, I mean, I feel like we taking that for granted, because, you know, we walk literally maybe not even a meter, you know, to our taps, open it every day, brush our teeth or take a shower or whatever it is. And these people are suffering out there. So I felt like that was the best way to kind of give back to the world. So inshallah, with all the proceeds of this album, we're raising boreholes.
Fantastic.
The first one's going up in the next few weeks, inshallah. We identified an area just outside of Rustenburg.
Alhamdulillah.
So so we're really thankful for all the support we've been receiving, and without that, this wouldn't have been possible. So inshallah, all the proceeds are going towards a good cause, and at the end of the day, I just want to give back to the community.
Alhamdulillah, truly, truly remarkable. When we speak about Nasheeds, and we spoke about the fact that you started this part of your journey in 2015 and where it came to, I don't think people understand the amount of hard work that goes in behind the scenes, because all we're getting to see is this young man who's now got a CD and it's being launched. We're seeing you trending all over the social media profiles. We're seeing people talking about you. We're hearing people talking about you. But tell us about the work that's involved behind the scenes, because this is the glory part about it. This is the easy part.
True.
Tell us what's happened behind the scenes.
Yes, so 2015 we began recording. I remember it was at the end of 2015, around December. You know, I was just a regular shower singer, basically. You know, I enjoyed singing and stuff, but alhamdulillah, I've learned so much from the journey, and I've learned to appreciate every single artist, you know, at the end of the day, because there's so much of work to put into this, you know, from recording to production to editing. You know, there's so much of work that goes into it, and I feel like, as I said, I stressed on my lyrics, because for me that was the most important part, because, you know, spreading a message, spreading the deen, you know, and doing everything for the pleasure of Allah at the end of the day is the most important thing. And, you know, finding ways, finding different topics to do that. You know, we have a song on the album called You Left This World, you know, dedicated for people who have, all those who have loved and lost people. We have a song called Unleash the Power. You know, we all have those days where you're feeling down and you're feeling out, and you just want something to lift you. You know, so we have many topics. So yes, as I said, I stressed on the lyrics a lot, because I felt like the message was super important to me. And yes, apart from the lyrics, you know, going into studio and actually singing it, you know, there's so much of pressure, because trying to get a take right, you know, trying to get those lyrics in line, you know, trying to go with the beat. It's not always the easiest part. But alhamdulillah, I'm so happy that it all materialized in a good way, and yeah, I'm just so thankful for everything that's been happening with the
And what's
album.
remarkable is that you're not afraid of the hard work that goes into it.
Well, you know, at first it tends to be a bit scary, because you don't know what to expect, you know, especially as a young artist, especially as a first timer coming into the industry. But, you know, I've looked up to people, and I said, you know, if I'm not going to put in the hard work, you're never going to get anywhere.
Yes.
You know, so you always have to aspire to be great, and whatever comes out of it, as long as you tried, you know.
What would be your advice to other young artists who are sitting here at 9, 10 years old watching you and deciding, oh, if he's able to do it, I may be able to walk down this journey as well? What would be your advice to them?
Well, you know, I'm not going to basically give advice only to young artists. You know, I feel like many young people need advice, and the most important point that I focus on is to always be yourself in every situation. You know, whatever it is, whether you're coming into the Nasheed industry, whether you're doing something of a different kind of art, you know, I feel like it's very important to always be yourself. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I heard this song called Kun Anta, and in Arabic, it translates being yourself. So, you know, that song showed me a lot. You know, it showed me that being yourself is the most beautiful thing a person can be, because I feel like the world always needs fresh, new ideas, you know, and showing the same thing over and over again, I mean, it's not very original, it's not very unique to me. So, you know, being yourself is the most important thing to me. I feel like everybody needs to be themselves in every situation, because, you know, at the end of the day, people, as I said, we need fresh ideas, we need new things coming up all the time.
And what I love about that is that it's also an understanding in the way you speak, that there's space for everyone, that
Definitely.
whoever needs to be there will be there, and it doesn't take away from another person's rosy at all. Fantastic. I think, you know, we have such remarkable people in our midst who are continuously inspiring us, and when we see youth like this coming along, we must do all that we can to support them, and especially when it's youth who are willing to give back and grow our communities. Those are not just youth, those are leaders in our community, and may we see many more of your successes and be able to share in them as well, inshallah. To the people who called in, congratulations. I'm sure our producers will be in touch with you. Congratulations on winning the CD. I'm very excited because I get to take one home as well, and I'll definitely be posting it up on my social media profile. there are profound ones that are on here. I have to ask you, I know we're getting to the end of it. We are going to close off with one of your nasheeds.
Right.
What has been your favorite one very quickly on here?
Well, there are, as I said, we have so many topics, so it's hard to choose one. But I've always enjoyed the song Unleash the Power because, I feel like in today's times, there are so many people living with doubt. There's so many people living with negativity. So I feel like, showing that you can be positive, waking up and saying, you know what, I'm so keen to do this. I'm willing to go out there and give my best at whatever I'm going to do. So Unleash the Power, that's, for me, that's one of the greatest nasheeds.
So we are going to wish you an absolutely successful unleashing of your power.
Ameen.
And I think we're going to be playing the nasheed right now, and you'll get to hear one of the songs.
It was Oskido,
As I open my eyes to another beautiful day, I see the sun rising up and lighting my way. And as I walk through that door to face the world through my eyes, I know that Allah, you will always stand by me. Ya Allahu, Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahim, your guidance is all that we need, all the way through this life as we breathe. La ilaha illallah, there is no God but you, oh Allah. As the wind blows its breeze high above those trees, I know it's you, Ya Allah, I can say Subhanallah. And as I stand to pray every 5 times a day, I know that Allah, you will always be guiding me. Ya Allahu, Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahim, your guidance is all that we